Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, Insane Gorilla, and welcome back to my channel. Now, this is what if Deku was a robot slash transformer. And before we get on with this, I'd like to make something extremely clear on my last video. Somebody asked me this, what about Deku was the Master Chief? I'm already doing a Spartan one. Halo Spartan one, so me just doing another one is not exactly worth it for me at the minute. Until I most probably finish that one off, then I'll most probably do the what if Deku was the Master Chief. But until then, I'm not doing it. Sorry, guys. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Where we last left off, the unit known as SW, the SW unit, walked up to the, well, boss's office and was listening into the conversation. As, well, the two women in there finished their argument with the head honcho just saying, enough about this division unit, okay? We don't have time to deal with them, they don't have time to deal with us, they just want to focus on finding self-aware robots. We don't know how they do it, they just do it. Anyway, where's the SW unit? He should have been here by now. As they hear a knock on the door, or a few thuds on the door, as they say, well, as the head honcho says, enter, as the SW unit walks in, with him just standing there, as he looks at both both the women, as they say, well, one of them says, good, you're here. I have need of your services. I need you to take these folders to our, well, database unit. He is currently, well, in a different section, all the way down in the refinery. The refinery is a bit hectic at times, but you should be able to see him. He is, well, very formal. As the foreman walks up, saying, you'll also be able to tell him because he's got purple highlights. Apparently, I don't know why, but this unit seems to think purple is the best way to be shown in a place where there's nothing but hot metal being used or smelted. And he's always got a few little drones walking around getting stuff. But here's the files, take them to him, and don't drop them, you useless tin can. As the SW unit walks out, with an inner monologue saying, pathetic weakling, as he sees a peculiar dog unit just staring at him with a symbol on its side. As he, well, walks to the, well, smelting unit, eventually finding the information user or guy, turns out to be a walking server, as he just shoots over the information to him, as this unit just nods with a screen on his face as it pops up with a smiling emoji, with him then waving his arm off, like saying, okay, you can go now. With the SW unit heading off. Sorry guys if you heard that, that's just me adjusting my headset. As the SW unit walks away from the smelting unit, he gets a call to the science science area. This is where he meets as everybody calls her, Miss Mad, because when somebody screws up, she is jumping down your throat. As she sort of says, good, the SW unit's here. Good, you can help me out with a few things. As the SW unit just retorts with slurred words, saying, yes, ma'am. After a few hours, he gets called by a security drone saying, SW unit, power down now. Go to power bay and shut down. Your shift has come to an end. As the SW unit nods, as he walks to the power bay, keeping it all under wraps that he is not a very smart AI. Well, an AI, a true AI. He's just a subservient drone. As he sort of shuts down in a pod-like power bay. But he could still hear things. As he hears a male's voice saying, so, this is the newest one that joined us. Let's see how the next few months will do for you. I doubt you'll be anything of use. And these humans call us nothing but walking tin cans. How very predictable. But we know differently, don't we, SW unit? I wonder what form you will take. Notice that you enjoy being in the science room the most. As well. A few months later, there's a giant evacuation alarm, as a huge fire was caused in the laboratories. As everybody was being evacuated along with the drones, because obviously they need drones to keep the place working, a woman screams out saying her babies are in there, she must go in there and find them. As everybody is sort of like saying, you can't go in there, your kids are most probably already dead. As she shouts, they're only infants. I had to bring them into work because my husband couldn't take them to his. As well. Yes, SH unit that was actually there, who was actually still in the fire because he couldn't get out, he is, crying as he sort of rushes to the science wing, finding, two infants, as there was a fire screeching towards them. As he just runs up to them and lies down in front of them, making his body grow a bit more to cover them, and sending out cool breezing air to the two kids to make sure that they don't die of the fire. He looks at them. His eyes start going from a pure white, which is sort of a droney colour, to a blue. As the two children sort of giggle, as he makes his body grow even larger as he rolls over the boys because they're twins and they're both boys. As he creates a cocoon around them both. As well, he starts tapping into the local radio, finding tunes for infants. As he sort of starts humming it in a bit of a mechanical way, but slowly over time he gets into a pure humanoid humming, which eventually calms the two children down as it makes them, well, both fall asleep. As he continues humming it, he feels the fire burning his circuitry, but he says to himself that he can't allow lives so innocent like these to, well, be snuffed out by a fire. As he, well, continues staying over them, cooling this, cooling the pod where the two boys are to make sure that they don't, well, as I said, die of the heat. He keeps them like that for several hours. As well, they both start crying again. But eventually, he feels water being poured on him as he finally, well, releases. As everybody's sort of in horror that there's a, well, transforming robot in front of them, as they see him actually lifting up something within his arm. Because he changed his arm into holders. Very soft and gentle holders for what looked like two infants. As they, well, both begin crying, still, well, they're still crying actually, as, well, he hears the word, "Where are my babies?" The names are Virgil and Dante. If you know the Devil May Cry series, yeah, I just had to nick their names quickly. Don't like have a go. I couldn't come up with any decent names for them. Sorry. As well, the SW unit looks over to the streets as a woman with pink hair, which turns out to be Miss Mad, runs past the fire brigade as they try to stop her. As she runs up to the SW unit, just as she, well, kneels down with her children in, well, his arm, as she says, "Oh, thank God you two are safe." As she looks up to the SW unit, as his eyes are have been returned to the normal white. As she says, "Thank you." As he just releases her children, as she takes them in her arms. As, well, the boys stop crying as they sort of, well, one of them reaches their hand out with the SW unit just putting his hand up to it, and which turns out to be Virgil, as Virgil just taps his hand against it, against SW's actual hand itself, as he sort of giggles. As, well, the SW unit just gets up and walks away. With, well, Virgil sort of crying because, well, something big has just walked away. With Miss Mad just saying, "Oh, so you like big metal things?" Yes, that's not a sexual joke I ever wanted to make. That only just clicked in my mind just now. As well, the SW unit just walks away, going to a loading bay. But then here's sound saying operation failed, targets unharmed, returning to base. As a sort of echoey way, as the SW unit turns his head, seeing a, well, another one of its kind in the shadows. As it says, new priority, surveillance, as he just walks away. With the SW unit just continuously walking off to the loading bay. As well, the local news reports capture the image of a giant robot shrinking itself in size, holding two infants. As the foreman says, we need to get those division agents here now. When did you say they were going to turn up? With her boss just saying, they should have been here yesterday. And I wish they were here now, because it looks like we got a self-aware robot on our hands indeed. Worst off, he's part of the science unit. We need him here, and we needed him here yesterday. Damn it. As the SW unit goes into a power pod just to recharge, trying to still keep it hidden that, he is actually self-aware. Again, which a lot of people still buy. Well, kind of. You can still hear things in there as well, so he's on the slightest lookout for the oh shit, I better get going moment. Because if I get discovered and these division agents actually turn up, they could possibly do terrible, terrible things to me. Can somebody please shut up those bloody dogs? Sorry, guys. It's my neighbour. Anyway, as the SW unit stays in his pod, he can't. Well, he can still hear things, as I said. And, after a few days of rebuilding, he goes back into his pod again. Slowly beginning to think that he may have actually been safe. That no division agents are coming after him. Well, that's what he thought anyway. One day later, he actually gets out of his pod and walks around, starting to feel like he's being watched. After doing another few days of work, he goes back into his pod again, still trying to play it off that he is a normal drone. This time he hears people, 3 of them to be in fact, as he hears the word of the foreman saying, "This is the unit here. I'm assuming you already know about this. You know we could have used you a few days, quite some time ago. And yet you guys didn't even turn up. I didn't want you guys here to begin with, but now I'm actually glad you're here. After that freak fire happened, this SW unit saved 2 infants. Then tried to make it look like he was a loyal robot that is extremely unself-aware. I don't know anything about this so-called war you two are always talking about. Honestly, I don't know and I don't care. I wasn't really there to begin with. I was born 25 years ago. As she gets cut off by somebody, a female voice saying, "Yeah, you may have not have been born. I wasn't born back in during that wartime either. Neither was my partner here, but we both know the history of these transforming robots. They are not our friends. They are truly our enemies. If we allow this one to get away now, without tearing it apart, to see what truly made it become self-aware, and perhaps we might be able to find out its allies too. Come on, Agent 3. And that's where I'm leaving it, guys. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. I hope you do realise that what I said in the beginning of the video is actually true. I am not doing the Halo Master Chief one for some time until I've done the Halo one that I'm still doing, the reboot. So, peace.